Hello and welcome to Let Me Bore You to Sleep. This is Q&A Friday. Yes, it is. Every week of... Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. I don't know where I was going with that. My website is jasonnewland.com. My name is Jason Newland. I'm doing something a bit different today. I am holding a microphone in my hand. What I've decided to do is I'm going to answer the questions, but at the same time I'm also going to give a guided tour of my home. So what I've done is I've plugged in a microphone into my iPhone. That's it. Microphone into my iPhone. I've tested it out. I've not used this thing for years, but I've tested it out and it seems to be okay. It might not be, well, it won't probably be up to the same level of wonderfulness as I usually have. But it should be okay. There might be a bit more background sound. There might be a few hisses and pops and stuff, but hopefully it won't be. So I've got, the question I've got is Barry, Michelle, Hope, Reveal. I'm good at mispronouncing names, so I'm sorry. Ben and Michelle. Now, I'm going to read out Reveal's question first. Can you describe the building you live in? Things like how many units there are, what is the garden like, where is the garden in relation to the building. Things are very different where I live, southwest US, so it's all very interesting and perhaps slightly boring to me. Did you say boring? Did you say, let me get this right, that me telling you about my lovely home is going to be boring? I don't think so. You'll be on the edge of your seat with excitement. Maybe not. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do that tour of my home and at the same time answer the questions, kind of. So the first question I'm going to answer is Barry's question, and then I'm going to go on my little tour, starting with the front door. Now, I had to leave the doors open for me to get in and out of the different rooms, which means Vinny will be very much listening for the neighbours to come and go. So he'll be barking probably. But I'll just edit that out. If Barry asks if you could choose any one or three or five people in the world to invite to a dinner party, who would you choose? And Barry's also added, maybe been asked this before. I tell you what, Barry, I think I have, but it doesn't matter. I don't mind how many times I get asked the same questions, because there's probably going to be a different answer every time, because it's all going to depend on my mood. So, and sometimes I'll answer a question and then later on I'll think, oh, you know, like I missed something out. Like maybe, there's a different movie that I really like. Now I just realised I'm going to have to do something. Is it still working? It's still working. Right, I need to put my phone into do not disturb mode, otherwise it could completely interrupt the recording. So hopefully it won't. This is an experiment, by the way, and if this doesn't work, then there won't be a Q&A Friday this week. As simple as that. because I'll be very annoyed. So I'm going to start by moving around the flat. So at the moment, so what I'm going to do to tell you to start with, don't forget also this room, the living room, a lot of soundproofing in here. Now see if you can tell the difference when I go into the hallway. I go into the hallway now, no soundproofing in here at all, apart from one strip near the front door. I turn right, then I turn right again into my bedroom. There's no soundproofing in here, but there is furniture, so I've got, you know, I'm not sure how loud this is. I got the window open as well. So what I might do is I won't go out of the door because Vinny will try and get out. So as I walk in the door, the first thing I see is a cupboard. And there are two... Vinny, stop attacking me. There are two packets of water on the right hand side on the carpet. There's an empty box from Amazon that needs to be chucked away. Vinny, stop it. Vinny getting excited now. There's a broom, which is probably the most grottiest broom in the world. And I think I borrowed it off my friend downstairs and never gave it back. He never asked for it back. I don't think he wanted it back. So if I go, unfortunately Vinny's, I'm going to go open this door. Now this is the storage cupboard. There's a little bit echo in here. Quite cold in here actually. This is where the mice used to live. They loved it in here. We haven't seen any for years now, so thank or whoever, blimey. So in here it's messy. It's not dirty, it's just messy. There's just bits and bobs. There's a table upside down. And I know I give the impression it must be quite a large space if there's a big table upside down. Well, it's not a big table. It's just like you could fit 2 people eating on it. You know what I mean? I mean, you could have 4 people, but that'd be very small. Couldn't be my size. Unless, of course, you had chairs. You wouldn't be able to sit on it. So, looking around, there's a shelf ahead of me. And it's wooden. It's been there since I moved in. There's a couple of air grates on the wall, because that wall faces the outside of the building. So my flat is mostly outside. That made sense when I said it in my head. What I mean by that is the only bit that's actually joined from the outside. So I've got nothing. I'm connected. So when I go out my front door, that bit is connected, and then there's a flat opposite. Then there's the stairs. So I've got no neighbours on either side of me. Got no neighbours above me. I've got one neighbour below me. So that's quite a good thing, really, that I haven't got lots of different neighbours to deal with. So the neighbour opposite me has got a neighbour next to them and below them. That neighbour next to them has got a neighbour next to them and below them. That neighbour, 2 neighbours below them, I've got neighbours next to them and above them. So it's only me and my neighbour downstairs that have only got each other to deal with. And I think it's just nicer just to have one neighbour. It just means that all the walls are outside walls. Apart from basically once you get past my bedroom. So the whole flat really is outside walls. But I've also got a loft ahead of me. Ahead of me, above me. So what have I got? I've got a blender. I didn't know I had a blender. Wow, I've got a blender in a box. I've got a little tiny little guitar. Ukulele, is it ukulele? Yeah. Oh, Vinny, you're staring. What are you staring at me for? I've got a briefcase that I used to use when I was a counsellor. So there's some documents in there, I think, just from the past. There's some carrier bags. There is my medical notes that I got from the doctor back in probably 2000. Vinny's going to bark any second now because someone's coughing downstairs. Then, oh no, it's a dog. I thought it was a human coughing, but it was a dog barking. Yeah, the medical notes I got from the doctor, because I wanted to see what they'd been saying about me. I'm not paranoid. I'm not, honest. There's various bits of equipment I've used over the years. Mic stands, mics, headphones, just all kinds of bits and bobs. A little toolkit. And to the right of me, right round the corner, it's quite a big space if it's empty, but when it's full it doesn't seem quite so large. To the right of me there's a hole where the mice used to live. Oh, it used to be, anyway, let's not talk about that. There's a couple of pictures, some soundproofing, a few more documents and stuff like that. Just paperwork. Very bright light. There's also the what's it box is in here, the fuse box, which would be very difficult actually, because if it went out, this place is almost impossible to get to there. So I'm going to need to sort out this room. I'm going to tidy it up. There's all white walls. What I didn't know, and in the past, I've blown a few fuses over the years, like with the cooker and the toaster and stuff like that. And I'd be in the dark in that room looking for the fuse box. The light in that room works separate, it's a different light. I didn't know. For years I didn't know that. For about 8 years. So these doors are really, really, really strong doors. I used to have an old council door with some like glass, like meshed glass. And so anyone could see in, really. They could see in, see if he was there. And I didn't realise until quite late on, when I locked myself out twice. Three times. Once I got a door person to come, and they changed the lock. The next time, my friend broke in using a credit card. Well, it wasn't a credit, but it was like a bit of card, you know. They bent it and pushed it in and it opened. The third time, he wasn't around. And the third time, so I'm on my phone and I'm just like phoning him up, and I lean on the door and it just opens. There was no lock. There was a lock, but it was literally could just push it open. I didn't tell anyone. It wasn't something I was going to really promote. I mean, you couldn't just push on it, and I mean, because I was heavier then. I was pretty much leaning on it, and it opened. It's like, wow. So yeah, but I got a new lock, a new door. The lock ceases a bit, gets a little bit stuck, but you know, it's all right. It's generally okay. I know how to kind of unlock it now. There's a peephole in it as well, which is good. And there's a cover on that, so if I don't know who's at the door, I don't answer the door. Simple as that. So, I got a light as I turn left. There's a mirror that's been up there for 10 years, which shows my likeness, I guess, because it is me, isn't it? To the left, there's a coat rack with 3 knobs or 3 hooks on them. One of them's got loose over the time. I remember because my dad came around here when I was just first moved in. He put up a towel rack in the bathroom, bathroom cupboard, and put up a mirror. So he's really good. He checked the electrics, connected the washing machine, I think, all kinds of stuff like that, and the cooker, because he's an electrician. So he did, really helped. And then he said, "You don't want a coat rack on above the radiator?" I said, near the door. I said, "Yes." And he seemed surprised. I said, "Why would you want a coat rack there?" "Well, there's a radiator just below it. It's the best place in the world to have a coat rack because your coats get dry." Wow, how could he not know that? About 2019, 2020, I asked people to send me in, to say if I'm helping them and how I'm helping them, whatever. And I printed loads of them off at the time. So I've got them kind of darted around the flat. There's not as many around as there was, but there's one, as soon as I walk in, it says, "I'm sleeping again. I have tried everything to help my sleep over the past 10 years. And probably not the right word, not the right voice. And whilst going through a very tough period late last year, I discovered Jason's podcast, Bore You to Sleep. Bore You to Sleep is the only natural product that has worked for me, and now it's a regular guest during bedtime. I couldn't thank Jason enough. P.S. Look forward to the updates about Andre. Whilst I was experiencing some horrible sleep patterns for the first time in 10 years, I've been able to sleep naturally tomorrow. So thank you. Tomorrow, I had loads up, but they seem to have, I don't know, maybe I've took them down or they've fallen down. They just disappeared over the years. So that's everything there. So who would I have? I'll do a little bit at a time, then I'll talk about who would I have to dinner. Well, first of all, I wouldn't want them here. I wouldn't want to have to cook for them. So it'd be a case of them. But then I wouldn't want to go out either. And I suppose if I had a chauffeur to pick me up, that would be okay. I guess it's imagination, so I can just be transported there, can't I? Like in Star Trek, so that's cool. Who would I have? This is going to sound weird. I'm going to go in a different direction to normal with this one. Okay? I don't know why, but I've just got this. I want to find out what people will really like. Okay, just bear with me. I'm not saying I want to have lunch or dinner with these people, but I thought it would be interesting to really get to know some of the more unsavoury characters of the world, of history. Not the world now, but of history. And I don't know, it's weird that just come into my mind. Is that weird? It probably is. But I would find it fascinating because, I constantly have heard about people, they're this, they're that, and then I meet them and I think, oh, You know, they seem quite nice. Got some pretty radical views, but generally, outside of the views and all that stuff, they've got kind of fairly decent people, just like ordinary people. Maybe I won't go down that road. Maybe I'll think of someone. Okay, Elvis. My normal sort of group would be sort of like Elvis, Buddy Holly, Bruce Lee, Michael Jackson. I got questions for Michael Jackson. I would like to sort of sit down with him and just, it would have been, I don't think many people got a chance to really know him when he was alive, in a way of like to be able to really suss him out. I'm sure hundreds of people did, but like the world didn't really. Whitney Houston. So I think I'd break it up into groups. So because it's my little fantasy, I would have different dinner dates. So one would be for singers, one would be for, let's say, maybe actors, another would be maybe people in the hypnosis or psychotherapy world that are, or some that are still here, some that aren't. Yeah. Comedians, that's another one. Wow. The amount of comedians that I'd like to... The thing is, knowing what I know about comedians, just having been around them for like 20 years. Not saying anything bad about them, but they're not always they're not generally how they are on stage, which would be probably quite annoying. But they're not always, quite often they're quite quiet, the ones that I met. And sometimes quite serious. But, you know, as I say, it's not a criticism, it's just, I mean, I was unsuccessful at comedy, so I'm not judging in that way. It's just, that's kind of what I noticed. They weren't always, some of them were really friendly, but some of them just, it seemed the really successful ones were often the nicest. Like Harry Hill. Lovely bloke. Lee Mack was lovely. Lee Mack once told me that he liked my act. This is before he was famous. Before he had any kind of anything to judge it on. He was quite new himself, to be fair, but he did. I used to see him regularly. You know, like every week for about 4 years. I'd see him at least once a week for 4 years. Old Lee Mack. But I probably wouldn't bother with many English comedians. I'd probably go for the American ones, the ones that I looked up to in my late teens and early 20s. For example, Sam Kinison, Bill Hicks. I quite like to meet Andrew Dice Clay, Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Red Fox, Lenny Bruce, Rodney Dangerfield. Who else? Louis C.K. I mean, this the end. I know it's, you said 2 or 3 or 5. It's my party, and I'll cry if I want to. I can invite as many as I want. You're not the boss of me. I don't know. Yeah, I think that'd be cool. But I quite like, cause it's not just dead people I'd like to meet. I got a great joke about talking to dead people. You might not have heard it, but I still think it's one of my best jokes ever. Ricky Gervais is another one. I think he's one of the greatest comedians. just one of the greatest comedy minds, maybe. Maybe that'd be a better one, but he's at a different league to most other comedians, I would say, just because of, it's like he's himself in a weird way, I don't know. So then other people, I think, I don't know if you can hear the background sound, I'm walking around. Other people like in a comedic world, Stuart Lee's one of my favourite comedians, like ever. He's English. Yeah, I don't just love American comedians. There's so many British comedians that are brilliant, and so many brilliant comedians that you'll never get to see unless you actually go to a comedy club. You know, there's comedians out there that are as good, maybe even will make you laugh more than anyone that you'll see on TV. Kind of ironically. There's comedians out there that will never ever, they won't be on TV for whatever reason. Maybe they don't fit TV. Maybe they're too rude. Maybe they just don't, their personality doesn't gel with the producers. Maybe their management's not very good. It could be a variety of different things. Maybe all they want to do is stand-up comedy. They don't want to be on TV or radio or the internet. And you might think, name one comedian who doesn't want to be on TV or the internet or radio. Name one comedian who doesn't want to be famous. I can. I actually can. Daniel Kitson. Someone that I knew, I'd see him regularly for 4 years, sometimes multiple times a week. And he went on to win the Perrier Award. And he does shows around the world. I think he sells, I'm not sure if he sells videos or audios of the shows. But he's not on the internet. He does the occasional interview on YouTube, occasionally. Doesn't do any TV. He was on Phoenix Nights as the bartender. And that was, 20 or 25 years ago. But he's an artist. He's very funny. He ruined a date for me once, though. I'm not joking. It was the end of the gig, end of the night. We'd all just finished. We went upstairs into the comics room. I'd met someone, so she came upstairs with me, and we were just talking, and we got on really well until that point. And then he had her in stitches the whole time, and she just ignored me. He wasn't trying to chat her up. Vinny, don't bark, please, mate. He wasn't trying to do anything. He was just being himself. And she was absolutely rolled over. He'd been on stage that night as well. I think he was the compere. And for a little while, I didn't like him. I left. I actually said, I'll see you then, bye. I left, I said. Because it annoyed me so much. Because she literally was just ignoring me. So I thought, can't be bothered, because it's hard to really compete with someone that's been on stage all night, like the star of the show. You know, can't compete with that. They got married, got 6 kids. It's lovely. Really happy for them. No, they didn't. I don't think they did. But he was very, very funny. He's done a lot of shows all around. I went onto his website the other day just to check out what he's doing, and still doing it. He's very successful in Australia. I think he goes to America, Canada. So in the front door, to the left of me, there's a radiator. There's the mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? Who's the pinkest of them all? You are, Jason. There's a ladder leaning up against the mirror. And there's a brolly next to the ladder that's leaning up against the wall. And that's been there for 2 or 3 weeks, because I lent my neighbour downstairs at not the brolly, the ladder. And I just put it on the wall, put it against the wall, and it's probably going to stay there for the next few years, probably. On the radiator was my hat, my winter hat. There's one strip, I don't know quite why, there's one strip of soundproofing on the wall, just near the front door. I'm not sure why. And it's been there for years, good 5 years, if not longer. I used to have a strip on the front door as well, just trying to maybe keep out the sound of the hallway. I don't think it really worked. On top of the mirror, there is a air freshener, like one of those little ones you pull the strip off, and it's a little round thing that just sits there. I got 2 on top of the door, because all the doors have got like glass at the top, like glass section. So you remember when you was a kid and you could look over, get on a chair, and you could look into the bathroom, and I'm not saying I would do that, I'm saying if you wanted to. It's very old fashioned like that, so yeah, it's got that. And there's no point, is there, because there's no one else in the room. I'm not. First thing I did is got here, I looked through the window, looked in the bathroom at the top of the window, and I realised I live on my own. There's no point. However, the bathroom, I just looked, I didn't really notice before, the bathroom one is all blocked off. It's got some kind of material in, so you can't see through it anyway. On the top of, the coat rack, on the right hand side, what have I got? I've got a couple of jumpers. Left hand side one, there's 3 hooks. Left hand side is my winter coat, which I need to get a decent one. I did actually have 2 decent winter coats. I gave one to my friend downstairs. He gave it away to someone that was standing at a bus stop without anything. I mean, the bloke wasn't naked, but he gave his coat away to someone. And then he was going out, because I already had an old winter coat that I've still got here. And so I gave my other winter coat to my friend. It's 2 new winter coats lost. And also, I don't begrudge him giving it away, because that's a lovely thing to do. But it left me. The thing is, really, he needed a winter coat more than me, because he had no. I've got fat reserves from the last 20 years on my body. He was really, 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 really slim. So he got cold when he was out, when sometimes I wouldn't. So I didn't need as many covers, really, as many layers. So I've got that. In the middle is my keys and my Vinnie's lead. There's the old lead, which is a very short one, but a neighbour gave me a longer one that expands. Yeah. As I walk down, there is I think it's optical smoke alarm on the ceiling. That gets checked every year. It definitely works, because I've set it off a few times. So as I walk down, before I get to my bedroom on the left, if I look at turn right, there's a wall, which is the wall of the outside wall of the storage room, I guess. And I couldn't tell you what used to be on that wall, but it was held up with sellotape. So I pulled it all down, so maybe it was more of those notices that I had, but yeah, there's lots of sellotape on that wall there. If I do a full turn round, there is my Honeywell thermostat controller for the central heating. So that's there. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a drink of water before I go into the bedroom. And I can look at the... Just trying to think, what other people would I invite to a dinner party? So I think like Stevie Wonder, Dolores from the Cranberries, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston. It's just because they're people that I seriously admired, like as singers. Is that registering the noise outside? See, I need to get some headphones, some little headphones, so I can actually hear, because this does allow headphones to be plugged into the microphone. But my headphones have only got like a big knob. I need a little knob. Just looking at that question, Barry, I don't know. Just to limit it to 5 people. It probably, I think if I really had a bit of time to think about it, like, you know, it was like, this is your only opportunity to invite 5 people, living or gone, to spend time, to spend a few hours with them, then it's probably not going to be anyone famous. It would be people that are no longer here. So I guess, or people that I've lost contact with, you know, due to different circumstances. So it'd be my nan. I quite like to, although I never ever had any proper kind of relationship with my granddad, it would be nice to maybe get to know him as an adult, talk to him as an adult, like adult to adult, because I was, 20? I was 20 when he passed away, so I never really knew him as a like a fully grown adult, but like as an old man, as it were. Although he'd now be, it'd be 110, 115 now. But my nan, the 2 Andres, so the original Andre that lived in Ireland, so he's no longer with us, I'd get him back. My Andre, they were both my Andres really, but you know, the original Andre, and then my little Andre. My friend Luke downstairs. I'm not sure how they'd all get on with each other, to be fair, because different characters. So my nan, Luke, I guess, the 2 Andres. So that's 4 people. Simon, who it's going to sound weird. I didn't really know him that well, but he passed away at a very early age. He was the son of the baker who I worked with when I was a kid, the master baker. I worked in that restaurant, in the bakery, and his son was so cool. He was probably about my brother's age, maybe a year older, but he was kind of 4 or 5 years older than me. But I got on with him so well. He was kind of like an older brother, as however weird that might sound. And he used to, when I worked in a chip shop, he used to come in and tease me. He'd like come in specifically just to make fun of me. And I loved it. I just did. And then I think 87 he left us. So yeah, I'd bring him back. And his dad, I'd like to. The thing is, it's weird. I don't know if it's I'm just getting old. Well, I'm getting old, but I'm starting to think I want to say thank you to people, just for what they've done to help me. Maybe when in the past or at the time I didn't appreciate it, or maybe I did appreciate, but I didn't show that I appreciated it. I don't know, but yeah, I'd quite like to meet his dad again, because he's also gone. But I suppose if I was going to stick to like people that were, I had another friend as well, Steve. Yeah, I think really I'd probably just stick to people that like super, super close to. So as far as people that are gone. So yeah, probably those that are gone, as opposed to those that I can possibly still get to see, maybe in the future. Or the thing is, it'd be too painful anyway. Can you imagine? You got 3 hours. You get to see your nan again. 3 hours isn't enough for each person. 3 hours isn't enough, full stop. So that would be it. It wouldn't be. It kind of wouldn't matter if it was someone like Lenny Bruce or Richard Pryor, because meeting them would be like an honour, but a novelty. But seeing someone close, I'm not sure. But probably I'm thinking maybe my nan, Luke, Andre, and my little Andre. And I'd just like to see how Vinny gets on with him. That would be, kind of where I'm with that as well. I'd like to see if they both get on together, because they are brothers, by the way, after all, aren't they? So what's the next question? Well, what on earth am I talking about? This isn't for Friday, but I can't click on the playlists on your website to hear podcasts. Okay. I did reply to that. I've had the same problem, says Hope. I've sorted it out, I wrote. And Michelle replied, thank you. Well, I think what it was is, from what I could work out, I'd set it up so that there was ones without music, with music, 5 hours without music, 5 hours with music, 10 hours without music, 10 hours with music. When the only podcasts I've actually sorted out in playlists have been the ones without music. So I've deleted all the ones that say with music, or 5 hours, 10 hours. So you just get those lists. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to add those on later, but I need to do the ones now. I'm still working on the ones like the Let Me Bore You to Sleep. The podcast for 1,250 to 1,300. I'm still working on that podcast, uploading, because it's just taking time. I'm downloading them, then changing the name, uploading them. So yeah, there's still quite a lot to do just for the Let Me Bore You to Sleep ones. Then I can have a look, because the ones with music, there's probably over 300 Let Me Bore You to Sleeps that have music as well. So I'd have to go through them. So we'll see what happens. I'm not going to... By taking them off the website, it makes it a little bit easier. Just do one bit at a time. I can put it back bit by bit, if that makes sense. Right. Hope. It's a great name, actually, isn't it? Hope. What are your favourite foods? My favourite foods. Right, let's continue with the tour as I tell you about my favourite foods. By the way, I hope this audio isn't awful. If it is, well, there you go. Sorry. So, I'm facing the blue tack on the wall. Now I'm going to turn around. This is the entrance to my boudoir. Bedroom? Is that boudoir, isn't it? Right, so all the doors are scratched to bits. They've got like bits of chipped bits of wood, like stripped off, and the bottoms were all kind of scratched from the previous person that had. I think she had like massive dogs living here. It's probably the doors have probably been here for 20, 30 years. I could get them changed, but I'd have to pay for it, so I'm not going to do that. Not anytime soon, anyway. So there's a door frame. It's always handy. There's a door. All the doors inside are just, door handles. You push down rather than turn. It's them ones. Just really, really standard door handles. I could put on really nice ones if I wanted. Probably wouldn't even cost much money. I could have done so much with this place. I really could. I think the thing is, right, when I moved in, it was almost, I didn't believe it. I guess I didn't believe it was going to last. That I was going to still be here in 10 years' time. That's kind of surprised me a little bit. So I didn't really bother with any kind of decorating or making it nicer, or I got a new bed, got a new fridge, washing machine, things like that when I first moved in, freezer, but I didn't really do much as far as decorating. I've still got the same light shades as I had when I first moved in, that my dad put up. Old hanging down lights. Just like basic. They work, but it's very, very basic. So, as I walk in, the door's on the right hand side. This one stays open all by itself, if I leave it open. There is a t-shirt over the top of it. There's not as many cobwebs now because I did clean them all away with the vacuum. No, I did it with a brush thing and that just made a mess. But yeah, I did clear most of the cobwebs away. So dust and stuff. So as I go in to my bedroom, what I can see right now as I stand in the front door, the doorway, and there's these bits of wood that go from door frame to door frame that like separate the room and from the hallway. I think pizza. See, I do like a nice roast dinner, but I like things with choice. I like lots of different things. I'm not really into a lot of one thing. Does that make sense? I think I should have been born Spanish, because the Spanish tapas are amazing. Like so many different choices, or even Indian. You could have like a banquet of so many different things. But sweet corn pineapple pizza, I do like. So I've got my punch bag right ahead of me. It's not right ahead of me, it doesn't like block the door. It's a stand-up one, which is Everlast rather. There's one of those with a base. It's got water in the base, very heavy. I won't punch it because I'm basically holding the microphone and the phone at the same time. Different hands. I need a longer microphone lead, really. Next to that, well, on the floor to the right is my dirty washing. There's not much there because I did some washing today. There's also a bunch of toys for Vinny. Did that squeak? No, it doesn't. Some balls. There's a toilet roll down there for some reason. And then further up the room, all the walls are pretty much bare around. There's nothing on the walls. On that side, on the right side, there's... It's a dust collector, but it is actually a bike. You know, electric bike machine thing. Exercise bike. It's a Reebok. It's quite a good one. I've had it for a long time. Many years. And yeah, never really used it. Next to that is it's like another punch bag, but it's like a punch ball. So again, it's got water base, so it stays upright. It's more for speed. It's not a speed ball that you like have against the wall. This is more, I don't know, it comes back at you so you can dodge out of the way and stuff. What else? Then there's the window. One of the good things about this flat is the windows are big. You know, for the size of the rooms, and they're decent sized rooms. The window's quite big. Still got the same curtains as I had when I moved in. I know. Lazy. I'm so lazy. That window is actually cleaned, but the birds have decided they didn't like it being clean on the outside. And on the inside, that's where Vinny gets onto the windowsill. It's quite a wide windowsill, and he's left smudges all over the window. The top window is always open. Not always open, but like when I'm in and stuff. So it's open now because I like to try and get some air in here, as I do with the living room. I can't open the side windows here because if Vinny gets onto the windowsill, I just don't want him jumping out. So I keep the side windows, because two big side windows, another middle one, and then one at the top. The two side and the one at the top open. I leave the ones at the side closed. I used to open them, but since I've had him, I don't. So that's the curtains, the curtain rail. To the left, there are two clothes racks. Now, these are attached to the wall. Or one's attached to the wall, the one's falling off the wall. Vinny, no barkies, please. And so I can't really put anything on that one. And the other one's wonky. So I've got t-shirts and stuff like that on there. They're very good, but I just didn't do a very good job of putting them on there. And then, next to the punch bag thing, punch ball rather, there's a scales. I say, what do I weigh today? What do I weigh today? Ooh. Probably about, what is it? Just under 15. I would say probably about 94 kilos, maybe. Something like that. And then in front of that, there's a chair. It's a brown chair. I do like KFC. I used to, back in 2000, 2011. I lived in this room where I had no food. Like, I didn't have a TV. There was a shared kitchen, but I just didn't like sharing anymore. I just had enough of sharing fridges, just for whatever reason. And I didn't like cooking down there. So I didn't cook for a year. What I did is I got sandwiches. I ate out because I was counselling. Was my job at the time. So I was a counsellor. I'd eat out, maybe get something hot during the day, and then I'd buy Greg's sandwiches for the evening. And I'd do that 6 days a week. And then on a Sunday, I think I might have some sandwiches left over for Sunday, but Sunday I would get a KFC in the Sunday afternoon, and I would, like, a huge amount, just pig out. It was that was my normal Sunday ritual. Yeah. I was making videos back then as well, and making recordings. I think not having a TV was it helped with my distraction, or helped to not distract me. You know, I still watched a few bits, like box sets of stuff online. I downloaded because the internet was so slow, couldn't actually stream anything because it was shared amongst. It didn't really reach my room rather. What are you doing? Okay, wait a minute. There you go. Alright, he's trying to get... You want me to put my socks on? He wants me to put my socks on, so I... What is it you want? He's very devious, but very clever as well. You want me to put them on? He wants me to put my socks on. I'm going to whisper why. So I take him for a walk. He wants me to put my socks on for that. He might have heard ARCHY walking past, and this is around the time that they normally do. We're not going out. I'm doing a recording. Or have I got to have a break and then come back and do the rest of the recording? Is that what we got to do? Wow. I suppose I could just have a break and then continue. Just quickly, so there's a brown chair in front of me. There's a weight desk, like a weight table thing, you know, where you can do a weight bench, that's it. Got a couple of barbells, and I've got a this is going to be funny to say this out loud, but I've got a sit-up bench as well, which I've had for years. And also got another exercise thing, which is like a push-in exercise thing for chest and back. And then, if I turn around to the left, there is a bed. A bed. My double bed with my superhero Marvel bedspread and cushions or pillows. The wall is worn out on one end because I suppose I've been leaning against it. And there's a plug, which is a weird place to put a plug right there. I've bashed on it a few times. I've banged it a few times. No, but I'm trying to think of a good word. It's there. Sometimes a catch on it. And then next to the double bed is my set of drawers. There's 4 set of drawers, brown. I don't even know where that came from. I think I got that from second-hand shop. Charity shop gave me that. And a wardrobe. I got rid of the wardrobe eventually. I got some socks on there. Some bits of food for him. Just a few bits and bobs. Nothing much. few bits on the floor that are probably going to stay there for a few years. On the bed, so if you face, like if I'm sort of standing at the bottom of the bed looking up at the head, not the headstone, the head thingy. On the right hand side, that's where I sleep. The left hand side's where Vinny sleeps. He sleeps on the cushion, on the pillow, or he sleeps sort of further down the bed, or sometimes he cuddles up to me in the middle of the bed. Sometimes he will sleep on my legs, or he will sleep the other side of the bed. You know, sort of, he likes to be on top of the duvet, or sometimes, if he can, underneath the duvet. Don't you? Yes. I wonder if he thinks I'm talking to him the whole time. But he knows not to go on my pillow. Don't you? Yeah, like he just said, you don't know what I do when you're not around. Okay, stop that. So now I'm going to come out and I do like Indian food. I'll tell you my favourite Indian meal, and it's a vegetable curry, because I like the potatoes, but it has to be mild, very mild. I do also like Wendy's burgers and Five Guys, but unfortunately, when they deliver, the drinks tip over, so I can't get deliveries from them anymore. Five Guys burgers are too big as well, but Wendy's nice. I prefer the Wendy's burgers. Would prefer the Five Guys milkshake, because it's just wow, amazing. Other than that, Chinese food, a chicken omelette and chips, that's nice, or just a plain omelette and chips. That's my favourite Chinese meal. So as I go out of the bedroom door, turn left, and then turn left again. This is the living room. This is where I really do spend most of my time. It's going to take me about 10 hours to even read, to tell you what's in it, because I can't go through everything because it's too messy. I didn't mention the radiators, did I? So there's a radiator. I'm getting excited about radiators. There's a radiator near the front door. There's a radiator under the window in the bedroom. It's a very long radiator. There is another radiator underneath the... I think is it the same length, or is it? No, this one's shorter. So the one in the living room is shorter. So I think the bedroom might be a larger room. Same kind of windows in the living room. But as we go in, as you turn left, there's my desk. I've got two desks. What you want to call them. I suppose officially they're gamer desks, but I don't play games. I'm a very serious individual. But they seem quite good for setting up the equipment. So I've got a lamp on the left hand side, but that's one that can plug into the I don't know where it plugs into. A kind of lamp, for doing videos. I've got a pile of hypnosis books and some letters on top of there. So if I'm facing the two tables set together, there is my TV on top. And it's quite big. I got it quite a few years ago. I paid for it over time, but it was probably the only thing I've actually paid for that was for me, like just for my own little self-indulgence. The rest of it's been equipment for doing this stuff, really, laptops and recording stuff. And I will not consider any exercise equipment as being for fun. Sorry, I won't. So on the desk, there's recording equipment on the left-hand side. There is headphones, another set of headphones. There is a bottle of water with the lid on, of course, always. Not always, because I won't be able to get the water out, but, when it's not being used. There's my laptop, which is what I use for research and most of the stuff I do. Next to that, there is an iPad, which is what I do to edit the audio, which I'll be doing to edit this. And then there are 2 adapters. Oh, there's also a hard drive there. Okay, so that's the hard drive, but that's nearly full, so I'm going to have to sort that out. I've just got so many recordings now. And there's another adapter, which is what I put the disc in. So when I use the other recording, the normal recording equipment that I would normally use with the microphone, what do I do? Yeah, there's a disc, SD card, and I put it in there, and then I transfer it, and yeah, so I do that. Next to that, there's a couple of wireless mics, or one wireless microphone, which I can't get to work. Then there's the Sky TV adapter thing that I've had for forever, which is kind of just you just buy it and then you can get. I get access gives me access to the apps for all the different apps, and then like Netflix and Sky, like Now TV and things like that, and then I have to pay individually for each one if I use them. So it's just like a Roku, or a lot of TVs come with all that included now anyway. So I used to have it in my other TV. Next to that, I've got two adapter like plugs that are on the end of the desk. They're kind of screwed in, not like attached anyway, but hand screwed or whatever. They've got like a device at the bottom. There's 3 plugs in each. There's also 2 USB attachments as well on each. So that's quite good, because that means it allows me to power everything on this desk. Although there is a bit of wiring, which is a bit annoying sometimes. I'm trying to think what other favourite foods I have. I like. I'll tell you something I haven't had for a long time. Is what is it? Pancakes. Love pancakes. One of my favourite things I used to like to go to the Wimpy when I used to go into town. That used to be like a once a week thing. I used to quite like. I'd feel full up at the end of it, but it was still just nice like a nice little treat. Another thing, I used to like to go into this place which used to do cooked breakfasts. And what I would have is, I wouldn't have a fully cooked breakfast. One place I would, but the other place I'd have an omelette, chips and beans, 2 slices of bread, and I think a can of Coke. Again, that I don't drink Coke anymore, but those were the days. You got me hungry now. Stop it. Why'd you do that? I do like barbecue food as well, but I'm not into chops or anything like that. I just like, barbecued, as long as there's no flies around and the stuff's cooked, and the person cooking on the barbecue is not using the same equipment for the raw meat as for the cooked meat. I just can't handle that. It's just, it's weird, isn't it? I don't really, I like to think that I don't really learn very much, but when I went to catering college, I must have really absorbed, a couple of those rules, hygiene rules. Always keep your hands clean. Always make sure that raw meat's at the bottom of the fridge. Never put it above cooked meat or any other kind of cooked food in the fridge, which a lot of people don't know. Trust me, I've done some research. The other one is never try to catch a knife. Unless, of course, you're in a circus and you literally are chucking knives at each other, then it's different. But if you're doing a washing up, you drop a knife. Under normal circumstances, you know, of course, there, you know, depend as long as no one else around underneath the sink or whatever. But just generally, or if it drops in the sink, don't try and catch it, just so it doesn't splash in your face. Because, yeah, that happened to me a few times, and I ended up with some cuts. What's the other things? Don't rub dog poo in open wounds. That's another one. Yeah, so there's certain things, but you don't use the same utilities. Not utilities. You don't like the same spatula that you're turning around, or prongs that you turn around cooked food. Because, you know, with burgers, once they've been on the grill for a little while, or the barbecue, they're kind of cooked on the outside. So if you start moving the ones that aren't cooked, no, that's just my personal preference. I know with things like beef, you know, you can kind of get away with it probably, but I don't. And also, I remember I was at this person's house and they had a barbecue. I wasn't invited to the barbecue, but I was invited to go in out afterwards. So I went round and they said, "Oh, do you want a burger? We've got some stuff left." I said, "Oh, okay." Pulled the lid up and about 1,000 flies flew out. And I said, "No, you're right. Yeah, I think I'll give that a miss." I forgot this. I got another one of my little signs on the wall in the hallway next to the bathroom, because I've not really got... I'll read it when I get out, because I've not gone that far, have I? So I got a sign above the window. Excellence is not a singular act, but a habit. And you are what you do repeatedly. And if I turn around, this sign's been up there for probably about 10 years. I deserve to be happy. And that's on the door, like just the door frame. Ooh. Got a few clothes hanging on the curtain rod. There's a windowsill with a few bits and bobs on, the internet routers on there. And then if we move over to the other side of... I've got one of those bendy chest, shoulder exercise things that you can do. Got one of them standing there. I've got multiple soundproofing from all the way around the next wall, pretty much covering the whole of those two walls. I've also got soundproofing behind the television, behind the TV, and the tables, all the way behind there and to the right. And I've got another strip of soundproofing just on the left-hand side near the door. And there is some soundproofing, I do believe. Right, there's some soundproofing on the back of the door as well. So when that's closed, that's also got soundproofing on. So I really kind of went to town with this room. There's a light. Yeah, there's a light which is... It's kind of... like for video lighting, really. So I've got two of those, one in the corner and one on the other side of the room near the light switch near the door. I do have another one, but I think it's in the storage room, or maybe my neighbour's got it. I've got another sign here which says, "You do nothing, you get nothing." Okay, cool. That's nice. I've got another sign over here near the TV which says, "The best way to fail is to try to please everyone." And that was from Buddy Holly, apparently. So there's no other signs in this. Oh, there's another one. I've got a thing from Lydia here. Lifeline of a podcast. I've always struggled to sleep and find myself staring into the void on a regular basis. I first found these on Spotify, but I'm so happy I migrated to the website where so many more goodies can be found. Ever since listening to the podcast, I fall asleep so much easier, and even though I still wake often, I find it much simpler to fall back to dreamland, and cannot thank Jason enough for these sleep sessions. You are amazing, Lydia. Thank you. That's from about 5-6 years ago. I think that was like 2019. So I got my settee. It's a big old thing. It's a 2-seater, but it's a recliner. My friend downstairs gave it to me. Heavy, proper heavy. And on the left-hand side is a table, which my neighbour's given me some cakes and chocolates and biscuits to celebrate a religious festival they're doing. So that's cool. I said, "When's the next one?" He said, "It'll be a year's time." So I said, "I'll see you in a year then. Give me more biscuits and cakes." That could be the way to peace between different faiths. Give each other cakes and biscuits and chocolates. Rivielle asks me, "Can you describe the building you live?" Okay, I'm doing it now. Sorry, I forgot. So this is what I'm doing. And Ben asks me, "What do you find boring?" Ooh. I don't think anyone's ever asked me that one before. Maybe they have. That question. Has your new money thing sorted now? And besides boxing, what's your favourite sport or something that you like? Well, first of all, the money thing it seems to be sorted now, I think. I'm a little bit confused, but it's all new payment dates, so I'm just kind of taking my time with it. But it's been, I'll be completely honest, the people I've dealt with the benefits place, they've been lovely. Anyone that I've dealt with has been very polite and friendly on the phone. So, yeah, I can't fault them. And they haven't looked like they're trying to cause problems or anything like that. And I don't know, I've had a good experience with them. So that's kind of sorted. They've allowed me to have my rent paid directly to the council, the housing place. They've also agreed to pay me every 2 weeks instead of once a month. So that's, it's just, I just got to be careful. Just after a couple of months, I'll get used to the new routine, as it were. What's the other one at the bottom? Besides boxing, what's your favourite sport or something that you like? Okay, I'm not interested in any other sports. What other things do I like? Keep it PG rated. So yeah, I think boxing's the only sport I like, but I do enjoy watching a good movie. I love superhero movies, even the ones that don't get good reviews. I watch, and I will continue to watch every single superhero movie that ever gets released, simply because I am dedicated to it, and I have pretty much done that since I was a little kid. I'm not new on the wagon, as it were. I'm not new on the little horse of superhero movies that have been around for the last 15 years or whatever it is. Because Marvel kind of came to they started like making so many, didn't they? Once they did Thor, and then suddenly there's so many. But yeah, I've for the last, since I was 7, I've loved superhero movies. I'm old school, literally old. But I do, so I don't have any favourite sports. I suppose if you took away boxing, if you took away professional boxing, I would watch amateur boxing. If you took away amateur boxing, I would watch bare knuckle boxing. You know, if that was taken, I don't really like bare knuckle boxing. It's just a little bit too gruesome for me. I don't know. It's a little. I kind of like it, but I don't. I kind of like it a little bit too much. I've watched it and it's just like, that's real fighting, like real stand-up fighting. I mean, then you go to UFC and MMA, and then that's even realer, in a sense of just wow. But at the same time, I don't enjoy watching the grappling. I've got an appreciation for it, and the jiu-jitsu. It's amazing. It's phenomenal. It really is. I've got a lot of respect for anyone that can do that. I don't find it exciting to watch, but I do find it when they're in the cage and they're punching and kicking. That was in the 90s. There used to be conversations. People would be in a pub. Well, okay, I was in a pub once having this conversation. I don't know if anyone else in the world was. Who would win between Muhammad Ali and Bruce Lee in a street fight? And it's pretty much accepted that Bruce Lee would win in a street fight. In the ring, it would depend. Would Bruce Lee be allowed to kick? If Bruce Lee would be allowed to kick, then he would also win in the ring. Because Muhammad Ali wouldn't get anywhere close to him, wouldn't get near him. Which was shown because Muhammad Ali, God, I keep saying Muhammad Ali. This, I'm not telling you, Bentley, you probably know this, but for those that may not know, Ali actually got in a ring with a martial artist, and this person kicked him in the legs continuously. I think it might have been a kickboxer, like world champion kickboxer or something, and he completely ruined Ali's legs, like really, really smashed his legs up bad. So I've seen clips of it on YouTube, and yeah, I think it put him out of action for a while. He also got in a ring with a wrestler, and the wrestler the wrestler just took him, he chucked him all around the ring. It's weird. It's like different styles. Because I'm not sure if he was allowed to punch the wrestler. And what are you going to do if you're a boxer? You can't punch. You're kind of limited, aren't you? But in the boxing ring, Ali against Bruce Lee, apart from the fact that they're very different weights, not that different back then. Ali wasn't a heavyweight. He was 14 stone or something. Bruce Lee was probably 12 stone, 13 stone, 12. So there wasn't a lot of difference really. Well, there's quite a bit in that, I suppose, but Bruce Lee did have speed, but then Muhammad Ali was the fastest boxer of his generation. So in boxing, Ali would have won, I would say. That isn't I know that's not the question you asked. Should we talk about my bookcases so I can move on? Okay, behind the settee is a black settee that reclines. One side, on the right hand side, you might have seen this in some videos. There's just a bunch of junk on there. A pad. There's a a Pringles box with some Pringles in it from last weekend. There's some spectacle wipes. There's the remote controls. There's a book for my ideas that I've got there. Right, I won't read that one out because it's rude. That needs to be changed. So I've got to just write down some things that I find funny and just leave them. On the left hand side is where I sit and where Vinny sits when I'm not sitting down. So I often get to sit into a warm seat. When I actually do sit there, he often, I mean sometimes he doesn't, but he will cozy up to me and cuddle up to my leg. And just like when I put my hand on him and just stroke him, and he'll stay like that for a few hours sometimes, go to sleep. To the left of that is a little side table. I think I mentioned that there's biscuits on there, and an empty cup and an empty bowl, breakfast bowl. And then next to that there are 3 bookcases. 3. With most of my books. So they're black bookcases, there's stuff on top as well. There's a hard drive, I think that's where my videos are, the old videos from years ago. There's a few bits and bobs, there's some microphone, there's some books, more books, picture of my nan and me, there's Andre's ashes, there's a rock that a friend brought back from Wales, some other bits and bobs. There's a picture from the comedy club, which I'm going to get on a wall, that my friend gave to me the night the place closed. There's also a running machine, another dust collector, and then there's a vacuum cleaner. The running machine is a cheap old thing that I got in a sale a couple of years back, and I'm not even sure it can really hold my weight. And my chair. I got a chair. It's a gaming chair, and it's half fallen apart now, which is fine. And I got one of those. It's I don't know what you want to call it. Something that people with piles and hemorrhoids sit on. But it's comfortable. But I get it so that it kind of straightens my back, my lower back. So I've got that. So not to make myself taller. Just I can't reach my feet to the ground when I'm sitting on it. But no, it's just to, try and keep my posture a bit better. What do I find boring? What do I find boring? I don't know. What bores me? I don't know really. Sometimes negativity can bore me. I know I can be negative at times, but sometimes when someone's just moaning the whole time, and that can get a bit much. I get bored with that. Or repetition, I find can be boring, and I know that I also do that. I'm a bit of repetitious. But probably, and this is going to sound bad, I've got a neighbour that talks about sport all the time, like football. And when he comes, he actually knocks on my door to talk about football sometimes. And I have to tell him no. I just said no. My neighbour wanted to talk about football, and I said no. I said no. And I do feel a little bit bad, but I've been very honest with him, like, I can't talk about something I've no interest in. And he can talk for hours about it because he's knowledgeable about it. Also, he's knowledgeable about politics. I only found out the other day he spends all day listening to Parliament. Like all day long, he's listening. So he's really... he's got a degree in politics, so it's something he's interested in. I can't it's hard to have a conversation with someone that knows every single politician's name and are really into all that. You know, it's like, and I think, am I like that with boxing with people? Because I don't have. If I talk to anyone about boxing, if I talk to him about boxing, he can hold a conversation bare minimum. You know, he knows what's going on in boxing generally, like the big fights. But he, you know, he uses it as a way to get back to football. So, for example, if there's a fight, let's say there's a fight coming on, Fabio Wardley's fighting this weekend. He's fighting at the Ipswich football stadium. Guaranteed, if I mention Fabio Wardley, he'll start talking about Ipswich football. Well, in fact, we've had that conversation, telling me how well they're doing in the league or how well they're not doing, and I don't care. It bores me. It really bores me because I'm just not interested, and I can't. Football doesn't bore me. Talking about football bores me. Does that make sense? Football is a great game, and I know that I'm outnumbered by billions of people. The same with cricket, rugby, golf. Millions of people love golf. Motocross racing, or whatever it's called. I'm in the minority. I know that because I'm not into any of those sports. Tennis, darts, snooker. I'm not into those things. But I got nothing against them. They're like, brilliant. They let people have fun and enjoy what they enjoy. I can't talk about them though. And especially when I can't contribute, it means that I'm just sat there or stood there listening. And if I'm not talking, that turns into a conversation. And it's like, no, I want to be doing the talking. It's got to be about me. Me. Vinny's sitting at the door. One of his neighbours knocked on the door for him, I think. I wonder if they're still there. Hopefully not. So, the last question. Michelle, if you were a superhero, what would be your superpower or powers? And because knowing you, it's bound to be funny, please describe your costume and your hero name. Hearing you sing the hero song in my head right now. Shall we do it? There's a hero if you look inside your pants. Michelle, let me have a think. I did think about it. I did read through these yesterday, or maybe, and I did have an idea of a superhero, but I've forgotten what it is now. I know what a superhero is, but I can't remember. Let's do a tour of the kitchen while I think. Right, so this is the living room, so that's all that done. Come out of the living room, directly opposite the room, the living room door room, is another post, or another that I've put up from years ago. I find your podcast really helpful. Hi Jason, I've been listening to you on Spotify since 2019. Had a medical condition and left me with a lot of problems. I find your podcast really helpful, Vicky. So thank you. So maybe that was 2020 I got that one. I had loads. I wonder where they all went. Where did they all go to? Right, so now I'm turning left. It's just another door. It looks the same as all the other doors. Sometimes I get confused. This one might be a bit more echoey, but I'm sure the bathroom will be even more echoey than that. The first thing I see... Are you coming in? You coming in? Come on then. All right, you don't then. There is a fridge and a freezer. The fridge is on top of the counter. The freezer's underneath the counter. It's been that way since I moved in. The council did say I could remove part of the counter and put a fridge freezer in once I'd been here a year, but I never bothered. There's a few bits in there. In the fridge. Oh dear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 litres of milk, like individual litres of semi-skimmed Cravendale milk. I've got a delivery today. I've got 2 iced buns, Belgian buns. I've got some sliced meat. I've got some Bertolli spread, a couple of dairy milk flake desserts. I'm just going to point out it's boxing tomorrow and on Sunday, so that's for then, just for the weekend, a nice little weekend treat. I don't have stuff like that during the week. Maybe. I've also got a bar of chocolate and a packet of chocolate biscuits. Okay, that's on top. I have a few bits and bobs. There's a carton of juice that's open. There's probably about 3 or 4 left in there. There's a frying pan and another tub, empty plastic tub. To the right of that is a microwave, which I do use every day for heating the milk for my ready brick. I kind of think that maybe I'm not sure about the super costume, but I quite like to be the superhero that enforces the law. I know it might be weird because technically that's a police person, isn't it? But I don't mean like serious laws, just trivial laws that are really annoying, like people that park on the pavement, or people that park on the pavement. Or people that park on the that's one of my little things. People that bid their horn and they don't need to. Things like that. So let's say someone that's speeding. So they're speeding and I could just stop it with my mind and then lift it up and send the van to the moon. Something like that. Something harmless like that. What else? I mean, I had an idea. This is when I was like in my 20s, to have some kind of attachment to a car. So when it was on a motorway, that if any car went over the speed limit, it just blew up. But it was pointed out that that would be quite dangerous. So okay, I was like 22, 23 at the time. Got a couple of units in here. One above the microwave, which has got there's a tin of beads, some Vaseline. I don't even know why that's in there. I don't eat Vaseline. Cut a tuna fish thing. Another thing. I can't see, it's too high up. I can't actually see what's in there. Some plastic bags. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 protein drinks that are probably out of date. No, another 2 at the bottom. Some more plastic bags, which you can, you know, the little plastic bags. I don't know how else to say it. That you put stuff in, which is generally what you do with all bags, isn't it? Oh, like, okay, when I open something and I'm only going to eat half of it, I might cover it with a bag. Yeah, as an example. So that's it. They're not big, but they kind of do the job. I've got 2 tins of 4 packs of 200 grams Heinz beans. Yeah, that's good. Then I've got on my cooker, which I don't really use, I've got a Ninja, not a Ninja, but a what are those quick cooker things? Not pressure cookers. Frying cookers. Cooker fry things. Cooker fryers? Quick fryers? Quick fryers. Frying cooker? One of them things. It's really good. I got it recommended by a friend, and I was surprised at how good it is. It's the only thing I use now, really. Not the only thing I use in the world. I've got another cupboard on the right hand side, which is above the unit, and there's some rice packets, gravy packets, tea bags, breakfast cereal that's opened, that's at the bottom, packet of biscuits, and a couple of packets of rolls, which I got today. On top of that cupboard there is 6 boxes of cereal, 1 Ready Break, 1 cornflakes, 2 shredded wheat minis, and 2 Quaker Oats. On the counter, it'd be good to be able to stop time, wouldn't it? Just stop time. And just be able to not to mess with people, but just... Because, if you watch The Flash, okay, it might be a different movie to what you're thinking, but it's a superhero movie. If you watch The Flash, he goes so fast, it almost looks like he's stopped time. Which, in a sense, he kind of has. And also, Silver, from the X-Men, Silverbeard Streak, whatever his name is. Silver... I prefer him, actually. There's a scene in one of the X-Men movies, one of the more recent ones, although the recent ones were a long time ago, where he's breaking Magneto out of prison. So good. He puts his headphones on, listens to the music, and it's really such a great scene. Underneath the cabinet, I've got my toaster. Then there's a kettle. So I use a kettle a few times a day. I probably have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cups of tea a day, probably. Then I've got a few bits of rubbish on the left hand, just next to that. Just packaging, really, that needs to be chucked out. Just minimal, it's not a lot. Well, I don't let it build up. And then I've got a windowsill with a window. The blind got broken when the workman came and fixed the window, so I can't open the blind anymore. The blind's been there since I moved in. My dad put it in, and it's just broken. It wasn't doing much. I think it was like halfway there anyway. So yeah, I never open the blind. The window pretty much stays closed as well. But it's okay. During the day, don't need the light on because there's enough light coming through. But at night time, I need the light on. But then I wouldn't have the blind open anyway if it was night. I don't want people watching me doing a washing up. I want people getting excited for things like that. A bunch of cups. I've only really got 1 mug that I use. I've got 2 dishes, 2 breakfast dishes, 2 forks, 1 knife, 2 spoons, 1 plate. That's what I've got. I do have a saucepan, but it's on top. It's on top of the toilet because I had to use it to pour some water somewhere. I got some washing up liquid. I got some light in colour olive oil, and also some Mr. Muscle cleaner thing, which the sink could really do with. Then on the right hand side there's the boiler on the wall. Underneath that there's a, to be, you know, I was going to say, well, it's messy because I haven't put these documents away. Well, it's lucky I didn't, because I needed them the other day. So good for me. I needed to prove ID of who I was and where I previously lived, and I had that information on this document. So, because I'd forgotten my last address, I don't remember. I remember the road, I don't remember what number it was. Well, I do now, because I recently looked it up. So yeah, but you know, I didn't before that. There's two cupboards. One's underneath the sink. One's underneath the other side of the cupboard, where right next to the oven. I don't open either of those cupboards, because that's where the vermin used to come in. So I kind of just sealed those closed. But you do use a drawer above the one that's below, just next to on the right hand side of the oven, near the cooker, near the kettle, and that's where I keep my medication. So loads of medications in there. So I've got, you know, all this medication I take. Fluoxetine. Gastro-resistant sodium valproate. Got cocodamol, and the ones I take from my stomach. In the other drawer, which is below the microwave, there's just basically letters. They're just letters and a few bits and bobs, just stuff. You know, just stuff that just ends up there, you know, batteries and pens and stuff like that. Then, to the right, well, just under kind of the draining board, there is my washing machine, which is actually full right now, ready to be emptied, to be hung up. Had that since I moved in. That's been a very faithful washing machine. To the right of me, next to the boiler, there's a rack, like a towel rack above the radiator. I don't have the radiator on in the kitchen. I'm rarely in the kitchen. There's a big board, a big white board, where the last time I wrote all this stuff down, it was removable ink, but it's been on there so long, it's on there forever. And that's back when electric and gas was £40 a month. So we're going back a while. £40 a month for electric and gas. That's a long time ago. February the 3rd. I could work it out from what year it was from this. So it's February the 3rd, and it was a Wednesday. Shall I look it up to see? Mind you, there's probably quite a few February the 3rds Wednesday. You never know, it might not be. And then to the right there's a freezer. It's one of those ones with a lid at the top. That's where I keep all the frozen stuff that I use. The freezer underneath the fridge I don't really use. It's just there. Just don't really use it. It's just a lot of bending down and my back don't like it. I got a bunch of stuff on top of the lid because if there's a flat surface I have to have stuff on there. And when Andre was around he had to knock stuff off the flat surface. It was a give and take situation. There's some eggs that need to be chucked out. 2 bottles that need to be chucked out. There's 2 bottles of water that are full that are still in a packet ready to be drunk rather. There's a tomato ketchup, unopened bottle, which comes from groceries. 1, 2, 3, 4 tins of dog food. A bag of treats for Vinny as well. Sure, I sound like someone's banging on a door. Don't know where that was. I tell you what would be quite cool. Have you ever seen The Watchmen? There's a superhero there that pretty much can do anything. He can be anywhere, he can be thousands of places all at the same time. He's that omnipotent, isn't it? And basically, he can destroy worlds or build worlds. I don't want to destroy worlds, but just that kind of power. I don't want much, do I? I just want the power, all the power there is. Because in Superman 4, I know I said that I love superhero movies, but that was awful. Even by my standards, that was... And my standards in the early 80s was not high. You know, the standards of movies back then wasn't always great. But I didn't like that movie. But there was one good bit where Superman decides to get rid of all nuclear weapons. I like that. So it's kind of, to me, that would be like taking away the children's toys. You know, children that are arguing, take their toys away, and then they can't hurt each other anymore. And it'd be a little bit like that. It's just like, okay, if I was Superman really is the strongest, bestest superhero, really. Kind of. Pretty much. Yeah, I think Superman. But I'd like to have my own identity. But I did realise the other day, when I did mention it, that people do look different in a costume. You know, the idea that, Clark Kent takes his glasses off, everyone's going to know it's Superman. They wouldn't. In reality, they wouldn't. I remember when I was 8 years old, my dad came downstairs, he'd shaved his beard off. We're talking a big beard. It scraped the sides of the house, like the walls of like when he walked down the stairs. It's really big beard. Shaved it off, we didn't even notice. That's probably not a good example, is it? It would have been a better example if I said he shaved it off and we didn't recognise him. That would have been a better example. No, I'll take that example back. It did happen, but we knew it was him because he just came out of the bathroom. Who else is it going to be? He went into the bathroom, Daddy, and he came out of the bathroom. It's not going to come out a different person. Although that could be confusing for Superman's kids. Goes in one room, comes out another room in a spandex suit. So yeah, I'm in the kitchen, by the way. It's very echoey in here, probably. Nearly 2 hours I've been yapping. 2 hours! Again, I'm sorry about the sound quality if it's really bad. If it's okay, I might just do more like this, because this is more fun than just sitting there, to be honest. On a nice day, I could take you for a walk in the field. If it's not windy, and just have a chat. Yeah. I prefer that. I need a longer lead, though. And perhaps get I don't know. We'll see. So this is... If I come out of the living room, I try and stop the door from slamming. I don't know where Vinny is. Vinny's in the bedroom. He's on the bed. So turn left. This is in the kitchen. There's people out the front, so you might hear them. So he's in the bathroom. Did I say the kitchen? This is the bathroom. So turn left. There is a big mirror, and I can kind of see my head. I'm going to go through every body part I can see in the mirror. We know how mirrors work, okay? But I can see, you know, my legs and stuff. I can see the important bits. The bits I can't see without a mirror, if you know what I mean. Open it up. I look inside here. There's a cupboard. There's a cupboard. That's what I'm looking inside. In case you wonder, wait a minute. You stand in front of a mirror, and now you're looking inside. What were you looking inside? No, this is a cupboard. Nothing weird. There is 2 big packs of toilet paper with 12 rolls, and another one with 12. It's 16 pack, but I think there's like 4 left. 4 out, so probably about another 12 in there. There's tins of dog food that Vinny don't like. There is some recycling bags. It says 1, 2, 3 shelves. 1 shelf is broken. There's a lot of room. If that was taken out, this whole bathroom would be a lot bigger. But what would I do with the space? It's not really much. I mean, what, they could put a little seat there, read. I mean, I don't know. I suppose I could put a TV. I could put a TV opposite the toilet, couldn't I? Anyway, and there's some bags at the bottom. So if I turn left, walk in, turn left again, there's a bit of a dip. So there's the toilet roll holder. We all do it. Come on. No, don't be all shy like, oh, can't believe he's talking about toilet rolls. Toilet, you know. There's a hook for my, I don't know, dressing gown, I guess. I used to put my dressing gown in there, but my friend had both my dressing gowns, the same way he had both my coats. And I never got them. I don't have a dressing gown anymore. Need to get one. So above the toilet roll holder, I have something that I wrote about 10 years ago in ink. Life is a big marker pen. Life is for loving. Okay, I've not really lived up to that. To the right hand side of me, so opposite the toilet roll holder, the toilet is there. Don't know if I need to describe the toilet other than but to the left, everybody stand to the left. There is my bathroom unit with 2 mirrors, and on top of it there's some toilet cleaner, a packet of soaps. I knew one's missing, so there's 4 soaps, 1 has been used. They're Dove. There's a Colgate Cool Stripe unused toothpaste. There's 2 packs of Nivea face cleaning wipes. Oops. Inside the cupboard, there is a thing called Fat Face. I don't know what that is. I'm not even sure what it is. There's a thermometer. There's an old toothbrush. I don't know why that's still there. There's a new toothbrush that's unused, still in the pack. There is my toothpaste that I use, with a toothpaste nearly empty next to it. I don't know if I want to look at this tube. I don't know what's in it. Okay. Germaloid cream, zinc oxide, local anaesthetic, pain relief, shrinks piles. I don't know why that's in there. I don't know. Oh my god. And then there's lactose oral solution. That's for constipation. Wow. So there's constipation liquid and pole cream. That must have been there for someone else. There's some tweezers and some nail clippers as well. And then underneath there's a towel rack where my towel is, and that's just above the heater. The radiator that hardly even comes on. Needs fixing, I think. And to the right, above the toilet, there's a extractor fan that it can switch on to get rid of the damp. We don't have damp in this flat, so I'm very, very grateful for that. There's a couple of toilet brushes. There's the window, which is open at the top. On the window sill, there's a thick bleach. 1, 2, 3, 4 empty toilet roll holders, or things. There's a Phillips razor, one blade razor, electric razor thing. There's an empty right guard deodorant, and there's a 3/4 full Shore non-stop protection. 72 hours, which is good, so it means I only have to use it 3 times a week, twice a week. I got a brush which I got no use for really, because I don't have any hair anymore. I shave my head not to the bone, but I shave it down once a week now, or twice a week, so it never gets, whenever I trim my beard, I do my hair, so it all stays the same length now. Got electric toothbrush that's broken. I don't know why I still got that on the shelf. And I got some Brill cream, which I really don't need for my hair, do I? Below that I got a sink. I've also got a what is it? It's like a, what do you call it? Not disability. It was like a disability rack thing, like that you can hold on to for when I get out of the bath. And there's another one on the. I thought I had another one somewhere. I've only got one. Where did the other one go? Well, maybe I never put it up. So that shows you how often I use the bath. But that's above the fridge, above the sink, to the left-hand side of the bath. So in the bath, I've got a shower rail, and a shower curtain. There's a shower that's on the wall, and a bath. So I use a shower. I don't have a bath anymore. I just have a shower. I've got exfoliating daily wash, shampoo. There's some dog shampoo as well. And there's soap as well, Dove soap. And I got a scrubbing brush for my back. It's a big long one, wooden. And so that's why I can reach my back to clean my back, scrub it. That's on the other side of the bath. And there's tiles all the way from the bath to the ceiling that were there when I moved in. There's a couple of, what do you call them? Coat hangers, wooden coat hangers on the rails, on the shower rail, because I cleaned my pink Crocs and I had to hang them up there for them to dry. It doesn't take long to dry, but they just got completely, they were so wet. And then I do believe that is everything. I want to come out of there. Also, there's a nice light in there. So there's a light in the kitchen, in the bathroom, that I'm not allowed to change because it's, the other one broke. And they've also got one in the kitchen that I can't change either, so I have to get the electricians to come and change it if it breaks down. That's the whole tour of my home. I didn't show you my drawers, did I? My set of drawers. Never mind. I'm going to sit down now. I'm very tired. Superpowers. I'm a little bit greedy, you know. There's been times when I was younger, invisibility, hiding in showers. I know, but I was in my late 40s, so I was young. But now I just want to do good. I'd want to do. I guess I'd like to have all the powers. The power of intelligence, maybe, or the power of reason, the power of logic, because that could possibly go against the norm. I don't know. I suppose it'd be quite nice to have the power to reach a larger audience. That'd be nice. If I could be boring to more people. I know I've got the best audience ever. So it'd be nicer if it was larger, just to see whether or not. I don't know. Probably the power of healing. Yeah, ultimately. So I wouldn't really be a superhero necessarily, although I would be super, but I wouldn't be able to really stop crime or anything like that. But then, if you offer the power of healing, then that in itself would stop a lot of crime, because people wouldn't be. They'd be less worried if they could just come to me or look at my picture or hear my voice and know that would heal them. Then it'd take a lot of pressure off the world. So yeah, I think that, be a healer. Yeah, that'd be cool. Have a healing voice, because it's okay to be a healer and like people can touch my hand or whatever, but that's limiting, isn't it? But especially if they've been eating raw meat or whatever, being like, have you washed your hands? I'd be very fussy. But if they can hear my voice, and my voice heals, that'd be probably the best superpower in the world. I suppose outside of being able to cause world peace, again. But that in itself might cause world peace if there's healing, because like, you've all just got to get along with each other, otherwise, I don't know. I tell people off, I'm not going to heal you unless you get on with your neighbour. Say sorry. Otherwise you're going to have to keep your verruca. Can't believe I mentioned pole cream and constipation liquid. Amazing. Why would I do that? Anyway, I think I've answered all the questions. So thank you everyone for your questions, and I'm still limited. I'm going to put this down. Alright, Vinny. Thank you, Barry, Michelle, Hope, Raviel, Ben, and Michelle. So thank you very much for your questions. This has been quite a long recording, and it's going to take some time to edit. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get that done tonight, or have to do it first thing in the morning. It might be a Saturday morning job, to be honest with you. But either way, it will be done. So thank you for listening. Remember to be kind to yourself, because you do deserve to be happy. And be gentle with yourself. You deserve to feel safe. Lots of love. Bye.